And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46.
All right, partner, despite my eating habits, I'm not big enough to play offensive tackle, nor am I quick enough. But with the defensive ends nowadays and their speed, those guys have to be able to punch and dance, and it's a tough, tough job to contain them.
Hey, we got tight left. Watch tight end. Watch tight end. Key him. Key the tight end. Here we go.
Carr to throw on second down. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Kenny Vaccaro. And he's just across midfield and down at the 49-yard line. Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here. And following the
college coach right now, he always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. On first down, Breeze. It's caught left side by Cooks. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. Breeze to throw on second down. Looking for Snead, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Perry Riley. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. And now here come the Raiders. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Offensive starters now. Charles, what about Latavius Murray?
You know how you and I talk about players under the radar sometimes? Latavius Murray definitely qualifies as one of those players. And then you look up, and he's pressing 1,000 yards every year.
They go play action for Murray. Now Carr. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
On first down, Murray. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
When Nick Fairley's on his game, he is your prototypical defensive tackle who can make disruptive plays. Great hands, really good quickness.
And the offense behind the chains here a touch on 2nd and 11.
All right, here we go.
They go with Murray again. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
Look, the first down marker is out there, but sometimes it's hard to find for an offense when they're in a long yardage situation, which usually means throw the football. In this case, they went against the tendency and ran it, and boy, the reward was there. A big pickup, and guess what? It's now 3rd and very short in order to try and pick up a first down.
Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. That one good for 15 and a first.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Now Carr with a give to Murray. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. And now a look at the Saints starting defense.
Stephon Anthony acclimated quite quickly to the NFL. As soon as he joined the team, he became their leading tackler.
One receiver to the left is Cooper.
All right, here we go. Red 18. Red 18.
On second down, here's Carr. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
Now play number 7 of the drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 10.
All right, here we go. Wide at the 8. Wide at the 8.
Throwing his Carr on 3rd down. And that's complete to Walford. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Raiders in possession of the football. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. Red zone opportunity.
Time right. Hey, boys, got 4. 4 down. We ready? Red 18.
Back to the ground game. Here's Murray. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Now this will be the 9th play on this drive.
4 down. Check. 4 down. All right, here we go. Hey, we go rally.
They'll need to get the play off quickly. Here's Carr. Connects it to Roberts, right side. And eventually stopped just shy of the goal line right around the 2. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it now. The confidence is starting to rise. I think now's a play caller. Because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
1st and goal here from the 2. Now they'll run. Murray. And he's in. Touchdown, Raiders. Latavius Murray taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Raiders are able to cash in for 6. Sebastian Janikowski on for the PAT. And that makes it 7-zip Oakland. Now Janikowski following the score. He'll boot this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite at that level and not at that age. But I remember
going for the age.
I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that that was a fluke. And he went out and played pretty well the rest of the day.
Breeze now on 1st down. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Trying to get it to Willie Snead there. That'll bring up 2nd down.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. They go play action for Ingram. Now Breeze. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield. Complete. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. Give him 8 on the play, and they're going to face a third down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make him make someone miss in the open field.
The play fake to Ingram. Now it's Breeze. And this is going to be incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Field goal would have been a decent length at 55 yards. They keep the kicking unit on the sideline. They're going for it. They'll go for it. It's Breeze. This is caught. It's Cooks. That'll be a gain of 16. And they're able to pick up the conversion here on 4th down.
Well, it all came together on that one, didn't it?
Big-time throw on 4th.
Now, that had to feel good, didn't it? Taking that type of a gamble there and making it pay off. What a throw.
And tough as a receiver because no matter how perfect the pass, you know it's 4th down and you got to convert.
A little bit of extra pressure, but he overcame it.
To throw, it's Breeze. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm. Wasn't it?
And he's going to be wrapped up and driven down. Khalil Mack in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. Boy, he came in off the edge so quickly there.
Look out, because that's exactly what it was being shouted by the offensive lineman to his quarterback because he had no chance to block him.
On 3rd and long, it's Breeze. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Brandon Cooks, 30 yards. And the Saints are within an extra point of tying this thing up. Point after try forthcoming. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really looked clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
6 yards here to go for the offense on 2nd down. Again, it's Murray. They find some open field here. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Whenever we meet with coaches and they always talk about wanting to establish running the football, it's oftentimes with a good tight end who can control the line of scrimmage and the point of attack, and they're becoming harder to find because the colleges are giving us a whole lot of receiving tight ends, former wide receivers who can run, not necessarily block very well. In this case, though, we saw 2 tight ends on the field, both of them with the ability to block, and he ran the ball successfully behind that power set. Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Murray. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Now, whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. 2nd down, 8.
All right, here we go.
Halfback sent in motion.
Hey, Mike 52.
On second down, here's Carr. A right side catch by Crabtree. And for that man, Crabtree just finished his 8th NFL season. Of course, the first 6 in San Fran, last 2 with the Raiders. Barely topped the 1,000-yard mark, but he did 1,003 this season.
It's been interesting to watch the career arc of Michael Crabtree, because you remember when he came out of college, came out of Texas Tech, he was seen as a pure #1 receiver. Many thought he was going to be a future All-Pro, but he settled in as the #2 guy in Oakland, and I think that's been great for him, taking the pressure off of Amari Cooper and making plays himself.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
We ready? Red 18. Red 18. Check 52 the mic. Check 52 the mic. Hey, we gonna rally. Riley. 25. Check 25.
The wide receiver moving to a new spot. A fresh set of downs, and they're at the 1. First and goal. And he's over the line and in for a Raider touchdown. Latavius Murray with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Raiders have taken the lead. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. Now Janikowski following the score. He'll boot this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Throwing on first down is Breeze. He's going to loft one deep, and that's caught inside the 35. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Now a play fake here on first down. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. Brandon Cooks, the receiver he was going after. And that'll bring up second down.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's second down. Flag comes out, and that's because the offense did not get the play off in time.
And you can see the head coach, he is not happy. Everyone getting away from him right now because he's frustrated that they didn't get the ball snapped in time.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Now Breeze throwing on second down. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. Into the red zone, it's Breeze. His throw caught right around the 6. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Brandon Cooks in the final seconds of the first half. And the Saints are within an extra point of tying this thing up. Extra point attempt here still to come. And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Surveying the field. He's going to float this over the middle, deep. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game. We'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Got to wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't. You got everything going your way. You've probably prepared for maybe some change-ups you might expect, but overall, you like what your game plan's showing you.
So what will they do? On the ground, through the air, let's see. 2nd and 9. Shift together here from the D-line. That was 2nd down run for Murray. He takes this for 3 to the 29. Craig Robertson in on the stop.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Let's see what they go to here on 3rd down and 6. They come out here in the eye. Throwing his car on 3rd down. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37.
And they pick up a first down, and that came out of the fullback position. But as you and I both know, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a fullback playing in that spot.
Well, times have changed, right? The old school fullback doesn't really exist anymore.
We're not getting that same player out of college. With all the spread offenses, not very many pro style, where you actually have a true fullback. We're having to make do in the NFL and put guys in that spot who emulate it but aren't necessarily that position.
Tackle made by Kenny Vaccaro.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Inside 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Walford in motion, the tight end. They go play action for Murray. Now Carr. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Cameron Jordan in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline. They keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
And he goes in motion here in the backfield. The play clock's running down. Now Carr. He's going to air one out. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. They were trying to get it to DeAndre Washington. And it's 4th down.
And that play was what every defense is wary of. The big strike attempted downfield, but they were in excellent position. They didn't get fooled, and while he didn't come up with the interception, was able to bat the ball down.
He gets us away. It's a good one. Drawing toward the sidelines. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. Their defense did its job, yielded no points. Now it's the offense's turn.
And how much fun is that when you set things up to start a half and you just tell you guys, hey, if you can shut them down, get it back for our offense, we can roll. And they played out perfectly. Now, can the offense do what they wanted to do at the half, which is find those weaknesses and now attack them and score some points.
And break this tie.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
On second down, Ingram. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed, and he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talked about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
It'll be a pickup of 10 yards, and that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
They run. It's Mark Ingram, and he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
They go play action here on 1st down. He's going to go for a big play. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Sean Smith. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play. Not a big run on the first play of the drive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad play. Sometimes you're just trying to settle in, get your guys a little bit of contact, and get things moving.
Back now in the East Bay. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. Second down, 9 yards to go. And the back goes into motion. Now Carr throwing on 2nd down. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a 1st down. Fresh set of downs here.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the ball, as we just saw there.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Here's Murray, and he'll get this down only to about the 46. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up the play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
And that's complete to Walford. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically. But a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
No gain on the play there. Second down.
But it was stopped on that play. We've had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to him the rest of the game.
Strong left. Strong left. Strong left. Here we go. Red 18. Red 18.
Halfback sent in motion.
Hey, we go rally.
Play clock winding down. Now Carr. And this one's incomplete. The big tight end, Clive Walford, the intended target. Third down here.
As tight ends go, he might not provide the super flashy plays very often, but he's pretty reliable, usually an excellent target, and normally catches what's thrown to him, but he didn't on that play.
And here comes play number 6 on this drive.
Hey, we go rally. Rally. All right, here we go. Red. Hey, we go rally. Rally. Check 6 down.
And he goes in motion here in the backfield. From the gun now on third down, Carr. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Third down is a down. Both sides know they absolutely have to win. And the name of the game for the defense is pressure on the quarterback. But pressure on the quarterback with contact, that's how you end up winning it.
So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to break our fourth quarter tie. And Janikowski bangs it through, and they take a 17-14 lead. So the drive here ends with a field goal, and that does give them the lead, but this one is still a long ways from over.
And you love to be able to look up at the scoreboard and see that you're out in front, but then you take one look across the field and see that offense is raring to come back out, and you think, I don't know that field goals are going to be enough to get us home.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Throw complete right side to Cooks. It'll go as a gain of 12. And that leads to a New Orleans first down.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Now Breeze throwing on second down. Over the middle, it's Thomas. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. And boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
Back to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. Usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. Second down and 10. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. He'll look to throw. And he's got it over the middle. Flainer. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
He's back to throw. Incomplete. The intended target there was Tim Hightower. And fourth down coming up.
And I think the end result, knocking the ball away, was a product of understanding where they were on the field, understanding how many yards they needed to pick up the first down, and tightening their coverage accordingly. Gave them no gaps, no spaces, no real air in which to catch the football, and end up making a really nice play.
Back to throw. And Cooks has it over the middle. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42.
We always talk about big-time players make big-time plays in big-time moments. I think that fourth down qualified. That was a heck of a throw.
They'll come out in the pistol. They'll look to throw. Over the middle, open is Thomas. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And the 8th play on this drive coming up. This is Ingram on 1st and 10. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. He's brought down that time by a couple of Raiders. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. Breeze now to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. They've been moving the ball well offensively, really getting into a groove. Last play, pass completion. Now, finally, the defense gets there.
And you have to find a way to disrupt their rhythm. Do you do it with coverage, or do you do it with pressure? They elected to go with pressure, and it was the right call.
Now Breeze. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. They'll wind up getting 8, but it's not enough. 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And his kick here is good. And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the inline. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
And down he goes, brought down a Raider sack. Bruce Irvin in there to get him for a loss of 5. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Thomas has got it, complete. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end, in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a game. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. It's a 5-receiver set, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. From midfield, here's Breeze. He's got his man. It's Brandon Coleman. A big play there on the catch and run, 38 yards.
Coaches really don't care from what position they get this, but run after the catch ability, rack ability, is often the difference between winning and losing and changing field position.
Breeze hands to Ingram. And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First-level defensive line, second-level linebackers, third-level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first-level run, and it was stopped by a second-level player.
They come up in an offset eye. Again, they'll run with Ingram. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And this will be caught. It's a touchdown. And absolute stunned silence here as they have come in and stolen this one in overtime. As the fans exit back out through the turnstiles, not happy looks on their faces. Feel like they probably let this one slip away at home in overtime.
I would agree with that, and their unhappiness hurts the guys at concession stands on the way out, right? Not stopping to buy something for the kids. They just want to get home. But what a dramatic way to finish this bad boy off. I mean, this game was dramatic all the way through. That's why we got to overtime. And then to go ahead and finish it this way, the fans...